raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness themselves to greet me.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining. Because I'm free, nothing's worrying me. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head by B.J. Thomas. Okay, this is Season 2, Episode 2, continuation of Episode 1, talking about my life, and I ended up saying the day that changed my life forever. And like I said, had everything in place. I was now between my junior and senior year in high school. I got the scholarship credentials in place to attend Air Force and working a summer job at B&B Tool Company, an oil field service company. Had been going with my childhood sweetheart for quite some time then. I get a call at work, and she was distraught and crying. She said she was pregnant by at least 4 months. My heart sank, and I told her I'd be right there at her house and talk to her. Needless to say, that I got to her house, there was a lot of emotions, crying, yelling, arguing. A lot of different ideas was brought up that day. My stance was I was at least 50% responsible for this event, and I wanted to get married and have the child. Kim's stance was the same. There's a lot of different views on what would happen, different ideas what should be done, but I'll always remember Paul Duncan told everyone he believed that Bob and Kim should be able to make their own decisions, and this decision should be honored. I'm forever grateful to Paul Duncan for being the man that he was. I love Paul Duncan. Found out that Kim was pregnant. It was the end of June 1973. We got her blood test, got her marriage license, and first week in July we got married in Aaron Springs, Oklahoma. Small ceremony at the church there. We then was able to find a 2-room house in an alley in Lindsay that we set up as our home. Took us into end of July and August. I was practicing, started football season my senior year. At the time, the small school at Lindsay, it was frowned upon that Kim attends classes being pregnant, so she was tutored at home by Frankie Minton. She was one of the teachers. She came and tutored and helped Kim get her classes by tutoring. I was continuing to play football, and I was also working after practice, working every weekend at B&B Tool Company. He was, like I said, Dad's boss was helpful and let me work part-time any chance I got. Okay, I want to fast forward a little bit. November 6, 1973, I'm at high school football practice in full football gear. Coach Tunnell, Coach Estes, Coach Foster were all there. We're out in a grass practice field and no fences or anything, and I look up and I see a green Ford LTD driving across the football field, drove right up to the huddle on the field. It was my mother-in-law. She told me, get in the car, it's time to go for the baby. I looked at the coaches and everyone else, everyone was laughing. Coach Tunnell said, get in the car and get out of here. So I jumped in, full football gear, and away we went. Went and changed clothes, got in the car with mother-in-law, and we drove to Pauls Valley where the hospital was. A few hours later, I'm a proud father of Aubrey Dawn. I am now a father, husband, football player with dreams of being an Air Force pilot. I attended school, practiced sports, worked after sports, worked every weekend at B&B Tool Company. Things was going about as well as be expected. They never had any money, though. We had a good football season, a good basketball season, great baseball season. Our baseball team won the state championship in baseball in 1974, and I can always tell people that my daughter was at the baseball game. But now we're closing in on the last couple of months of my high school career, and unbeknownst to me, I didn't read the fine print for becoming an Air Force cadet at the Air Force Academy. At the time, you could not be married or divorced and attend the Air Force Academy. I was devastated and heartbroken. I was angry at myself and everyone else. I wanted to blame everyone for my mistake. I was bitter. But at the end of the day, I knew I had an obligation to take care of my wife and child. The Air Force Academy was out. I decided to make an attempt to attend University of Oklahoma. I didn't want to play football. I just didn't have the time or the skill to have any of the universities help me with my financial burdens, and they were attempting to make this work. So I attended the University of Oklahoma. It worked about a year, then pretty much ran out of money. My parents didn't have the means of help, so so I decided I had to find a better paying job than what I was doing. Or still wanted to attend OU. I got a job working on a drilling rig, evening tours, which was 3 to 11 p.m. in the evening, 7 days a week, no days off. I rescheduled my classes for the morning hours at OU, worked from 3 to 11 on the drilling rig, cleaned the Elks Lodge on Sunday mornings at Lindsay. I was taking 18 hours of college courses at the time. I was exhausted, getting maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, but things were financially better. Then it came time to move the drilling rig, which was a daytime operation. Zoology test coming up that would be during this rig move. That zoology test was 1/3 of my semester grade, and if I missed it, I would flunk the course. Went and talked to the instructor about my dilemma, and he told me too bad. If I was not in class, then I would flunk. I talked to my boss at work, and he told me if I did not show up at work, then I'd lose my job. I went to work. I needed to go to work, flunked my class. I quit school that day. I had to make a living for my family, and that was the decision I chose. I was still angry at myself and everyone else that was involved in this whole mess. I took my anger out on the ones that cared the most for me. It was my mistakes and poor decisions that got me here, but this time in my life I was not ready to accept this. One point that I want to make, that I never really attended church much my whole life, and at best I was agnostic. I just didn't know what to think about God, Jesus, and the whole Christian concept, so I was kind of lost. So now I'm working 7 days a week, 8 hours a day at the work, plus a 2-hour commute each way to the rig. So 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to make ends meet, raise a family. And during this time, baby number 2, Misty, was born on January 12th, 1976. Okay, here I am, 19 years old, have a wife, 2 children, working on a drilling rig 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, no days off. Like I said, I was bitter, and this is probably where I started down the slippery slope of making the really wrong decisions. When we'd work on a drilling rig, we'd finish up our tour, and on the way home we'd stop and get some beer to drink on the way home, and if there was a beer joint on the way, we'd stop that and have a few beers and head on home. So I wasn't spending much time with the kids. I wasn't spending much time with the wife. I'd just going to work, coming back, drinking beer, going to bed, doing it all over again. And at this time, I was getting a lot of quote-unquote guidance from my parents, my wife, her parents, whomever else that was trying to help, trying to say, Bob, you're going on the slippery slope, and you need reining in a little bit. But I was bitter and angry at everybody because of my poor decisions, and no one's going to tell me what to do because I was angry and bitter. This cycle of behavior went on. I'll fast forward a couple of years. I'm working on the drilling rigs. I'm doing well on the drilling rigs. I went from floor hand to derrick hand to driller, and I was a driller at the age of 21 years old, which was really unheard of in the drilling industry at that time. Usually the drillers was a lot older and seasoned than I was, but I was making good money and still making all the wrong decisions. And like I said, I didn't want to listen to anybody trying to give me guidance. At the drilling rig one day, and one of the supervisors come out the rig and said, "We got a rig that's getting ready to move to California and looking for hands to move out there, drill some wells out there, Bakersfield, California." They said contract was supposed to be for up to 5 years, and depending on the performance of the wells that we drilled. This was on a Tuesday afternoon. Asked the supervisor when we need to be in California. He says, "It's Tuesday today. You guys need to be out there Monday. The rig's going to start showing up on a Monday." So I said, "Okay, I'm in." I go home that evening. Say, "Guess what, Kim?" She's what? And I said, "We're moving to California. We're leaving Saturday. We got to be there Monday." Needless to say, it didn't go over well with her parents, my parents, anybody else is close, trying to say, "What in the world are you thinking?" And I was still, I was tired of everybody telling me what to do, and I needed to get out of there because I didn't want to listen to anybody. So that's what we did. We loaded up, had a trailer house at Lindsay. Asked my mom if she'd take care of selling it. So we loaded up, left the trailer house. She took care of selling it. Saturday morning, we loaded all our belongings in a 24-foot long U-Haul, and away we went to Bakersfield. We arrived in Bakersfield, California on a Sunday evening. Had to go work Monday morning to help rigging up the rig. We found a hotel, and that's where we stayed for several days until we got kind of sorted out and found a rental apartment. Okay, I want to close this season 2, episode 2 out and continue next week or so on Excellent Adventure in California. Thanks for listening. See you next week.